it was yesterday or the day before that the nominees for the Game Awards were announced. So I just wanted to go through all of them personally and talk about how I feel and, you know, put my opinions out there on what I think should be winning. I may make an account just to vote, but that would be like the first time ever in my life that I'd be contributing to the Game Awards. I know that some people don't like the Game Awards, and that's completely fair, and I'm not trying to make you think so or not. I think this is a great opportunity for gamers to sort of celebrate, if that makes the most sense. I also want to preface this with I am just stating my own opinions, and those opinions aren't fully, I don't know everything. I don't know every game that's going to be on these lists, and there are other categories that I am just not familiar with at all, such as like esports and stuff. So we'll be glazing over that very quickly. But yeah, hopefully you can see my cursor. I believe that you can. It's been a minute since I recorded something on just the computer. But let's go to vote now, view all categories, and we are gonna start with Game of the Year. Now, I have mentioned it plenty of times myself in my videos that I think Game of the Year is Baldur's Gate 3. Now, I have not played Alan Wake 2. I have not played Alan Wake, the original. So I have no way or means to judge this. I have no means to judge Resident Evil 4, Super Mario, or The Legend of Zelda. So really, for me, it's in between Baldur's Gate 3 and Spider-Man 2. Which, yeah, I really shouldn't be the one casting my vote, to be honest. But, at the same time, Alan Wake 2 was kind of released in, kind of late this year. So I feel like a lot of people would be in the same vote, or in the same boat, excuse me. But personally, I would give it to Baldur's Gate 3. There are a lot of things that Larian Studios did, even improving from their last game, Divinity 2, that just, innovation-wise, absolutely incredible. And I have seen way more criticisms on Spider-Man 2 than I was ready for. Tears of the Kingdom, I remember hearing things about that game being kind of like a clone of Breath of the Wild, but it did add some mechanics and other things to it. Again, I didn't play it, so I have no way to, I really shouldn't be talking about it at all. But for the most part, I heard, even from hardcore Zelda fans, that it wouldn't really be Game of the Year. But yeah, also, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is also kind of very, very new. So Nintendo fans can, try to weigh in on this vote. But overall, my vote would be put on Baldur's Gate 3. And my second place would be Spider-Man 2. Because those are the only ones that I know on this list. Best Game Direction awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. Again, these are the same exact games minus Resident Evil 4. I would put mine into Baldur's Gate 3. Innovation is what they did in Baldur's Gate 3. Comparing it to Divinity 2, they did so much more. RPG-wise, ones I know. And, yeah, we're gonna go on to the next category, Best Narrative. I feel like I shouldn't be weighing in on this at all. I really wish I did play Phantom Liberty so that I could weigh in on this. But if I were to choose between Baldur's Gate 3 and Spider-Man 2, I actually don't know. I think that would be a very big toss-up for me, because while I am invested in the story of Baldur's Gate 3, I don't know. There's a lot to Baldur's Gate 3, basically. I'm more there for the adventure, not the overarching story, if that makes sense. And Spider-Man 2, it's a symbiote story. Everybody loves a good symbiote story. I've never been into Final Fantasy, ever, unfortunately. And again, Alan Wake 2. I hear it's an absolute banger, but I have absolutely no idea. Now, Best Art Direction. This is a huge one for outstanding creative and or technical achievement in artistic design and animation. If it's not Hi-Fi Rush, I have no idea what else is gonna get it. Because I did make a single video on the beginning of Hi-Fi Rush, where I played the first level, and besides some of the, character stuff, I was blown out of the water, man. Hi-Fi Rush, innovation-wise, and creative design-wise, is spectacular, with the combat being rhythm-based and based on music, with the rhythm of the music being implemented into cutscenes and pretty much everything. It's spectacular, so I think Hi-Fi Rush should be getting this. I don't know why Super Mario Bros. Wonder is on here, considering it's kind of another Super Mario Bros. Game. I hope that doesn't offend anybody. But I still don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Nintendo games or Alan Wake 2. Now, Lies of P. While I do really, really like the art and the world of Lies of P, I just know it to be a steampunk Dark Souls, Elden Ring type game. So I wouldn't say that it really goes innovative on the art style. It's a very in-depth, nice-looking world. Everybody loves steampunk, and they do it very, very well. But if I were to choose between Lies of P and Hi-Fi Rush, I would absolutely choose Hi-Fi Rush. This is definitely a masterpiece in of itself. It's kind of on its own level. But again, I don't know the Nintendos. I don't know the Alan Wake. Okay, so Best Score and Music for Outstanding Music inclusive of score, original song, and or licensed soundtrack. Now this, I feel like I'm even less equipped to talk about, but the only two that I can weigh in on are, again, Baldur's Gate 3 and Hi-Fi Rush. I am not neglecting the score and music of any of these other three games, but if I were to choose between Baldur's Gate 3 and Hi-Fi Rush, well, first of all, huge shocker, but Hi-Fi Rush, I actually didn't get that far in. I think I only played the second level, second, like, chapter. And that means that, you know, every chapter has its own song that you have to do the rhythm to. So I only heard about one or two songs. So I don't think it's accurate for me to judge any of these at all. I remember, also, I still haven't finished Baldur's Gate 3 either. I'm like in the middle of Act 3. I don't really know what I'm waiting for, but yeah, there's that as well. I'm finally starting to realize that I really shouldn't be making this video, but this is a conversation. Absolutely. I would like you guys to weigh in on what I am talking about as well, and provide some extra information on any of the other games that I am absolutely missing out on. So, Hi-Fi Rush, I naturally, I feel, would get this, but I remember a song from Baldur's Gate 3, Act 2, specifically, that just was so... It stuck with me so well, and the overall theme of Baldur's Gate 3, it's classic. But yeah, I'm not actually going to cast my vote here. That's what I think of the two that I know. Okay, so best audio design, recognizing the best in-game audio and sound design. So I don't know Resident Evil 4, I don't know Alan Wake 2, but I do know a little bit of Dead Space. As you may know, I released an hour episode of Dead Space, the remake, and it's kind of hard for me to believe that this was released within 2023. I can't believe I forgot that. But yeah, I mean, for a horror game, audio is absolutely kind of integral. But I, again, wouldn't know too much because I haven't gotten that far in it. Though, Hi-Fi Rush, the audio design, from what I know, is spectacular, mostly with how they sync up the audio with the rest of the game. I don't know if that counts as audio design, but it's a very holistic approach. So, I don't really know why Spider-Man 2 is on this. I don't think there was anything audio-wise that stuck out to me, other than, like, the symbiote attacks, which there's only, like, 4 abilities that you can use. And yeah, they sound cool, and they look cool, but I don't think that should overshadow, like, a horror game or a music-based combat game. Do let me know if I'm totally, like, tweaking on my take of Spider-Man 2 being on this. But, yeah, allow us to move on. Okay, best performance awarded to an individual for voice-over acting, motion, and or performance capture. Now, I don't know any of these except for these two on the end. Like I said before, I really wish I played Phantom Liberty so I could see Idris Elba's performance. I only played the first Star Wars Jedi game, and Ben Starr I've seen a lot on Twitter. I think he's very funny on Twitter. But yeah, I don't know any of these 4. I can only really cast my judge on these 2 at the end. And seeing Neil Newbon on this list is so fucking awesome because he plays Asterion, and Asterian's voice is it's unparalleled in the entire game, and I've seen so many videos of Neil Newbon doing like live streams and little fan service stuff as his character on YouTube, and he's such a cool guy. But I think he did an amazing performance, and he can just so easily slip into Asterian's voice so easily. I think out of, the two that I know, I think he definitely deserves it. I think he did fantastic. But again, that's not to overshadow any of these other performers at all. I know Idris Elba is a fantastic actor, and I like him a lot. But I just haven't seen it. But when it comes to Yuri Lowenthal, who voices Peter Parker in Spider-Man, this is a I don't know if it's a hot take, but I remember everybody's reaction to the symbiote voice, how he like gets angry and stuff. Some would call it cringe. I may or may not be one of those people, but he puts in a lot of work regardless. But because of I wouldn't call it polarizing, but that symbiote angry voice, I would give it to Neil, basically. Anyway, innovation in accessibility. I don't know why I'm highlighting it because it completely blocks it. Recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience. So this, I have no idea how to judge this at all. Yeah, I feel like I shouldn't even cast my vote at all, even if I do sign in, because I just don't know that much in accessibility features. I know that Spider-Man 2 has a swinging assist, which could very much actually would benefit players who are very much new to gaming in general. I don't remember a lot from Hi-Fi Rush accessibility-wise, but I would assume that a lot of it is to do with sound. Now that's just me assuming. I have no idea what Diablo 4 does for innovation and accessibility. But yeah, I don't know what Forza Motorsport does, Mortal Kombat, or Street Fighter. Anyway, we are going to move straight on to Games for Impact for a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning or message. Now, I don't know any of these except for Venba slightly. I know that this is a game on Game Pass, and it's about cooking Indian food, and I very much considered playing it on the channel, but yeah, that's the only one that I know of. I don't know any of these other ones. I don't know A Space for the Unbound, Chance of Sonar, Goodbye Volcano High, Chia, or Terra Nil. So I really don't think I could cast my vote on this at all. But yeah, I haven't played any of these games. controversy on Twitter. So this is the best ongoing category, awarded to a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Now, before I made this video, I saw a take that basically said that they think Cyberpunk 2077 should win this, and that people shouldn't be criticizing this being on here. But I would, in my opinion, I would say that the only new thing that they've done, not new thing, but this is so hard to articulate without trying to like offend people. But I know that they've done a lot more than just expansion. The expansion of Phantom Liberty, but ever since they released it, it was in a terrible, terrible, terrible state when it first launched. Everybody remembers that. And all of the patches, while they did add other stuff, it was still fixes. They were all still fixes and bug patches. So, for this to be on the best ongoing list, I feel like it more so promotes the whole let's release the game now and fix it later kind of thing. And it's a very, very, very common thing nowadays for AAA gaming companies to release a game that's in an unfinished state. And again, I don't know how to weigh in on the expansion, but it definitely brought people in, and I know that the other patches before brought people in to play it again, and I was definitely one of those people. I played the game on release all the way through, and then once they released, I believe, their 2.0 patch, I think, maybe their 1.5 patch, I started playing it again. I didn't finish it again, but that's how I feel. I don't think that Cyberpunk should be winning this because their patches were bug fixes up until, the main expansion. I feel like they got to the point where they were, finished with the game, right before the expansion, if that makes sense. So that's how I feel about it. And in terms of everything else on this list, I have no idea how it would not be Fortnite. Apex Legends, I love Apex Legends a lot, but I don't really see a whole lot of innovation in there, other than new characters. And I don't know how many characters they've released this year, but if they have, those are, again, just characters that fall under predefined categories. Genshin Impact, I really can't weigh in on at all. So, I mean, I know Genshin Impact is played by a lot of people, even to this day, so honestly, with my knowledge, I would put it in between Fortnite and Genshin Impact, but I would put my vote on Fortnite, because even if Fortnite didn't do their OG update, even if they didn't, I would still think that Fortnite is the best ongoing. There's just so many things that are connected to it. They do all of these events, and yeah, I don't know how it couldn't be Fortnite. There are so many people that are always playing it, reason. Now, if you asked me this like 3-5 years ago, I would have hated Fortnite. But I feel like everybody who used to has finally come around to understanding, at the very least, what Fortnite provides, especially with their with the addition of Zero Build. Oh my God! If they didn't do that, it was such a good idea to do Zero Build. Anyway, moving on. Best community support, recognizing a game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusive of social media activity and game updates and patches. Now this is actually kind of crazy. There's a lot of stuff to talk about here. No Man's Sky, for one. I know that they just released a pretty big update pretty recently, and the community has a lot of love for Hello Games, especially because when they released No Man's Sky, it was not what I believe the CEO had said it would be, and it was ultimately a major disappointment to all of gaming, and everybody who was hyped for this game. Now, ever since then, they've been doing everything to make the game better, more enjoyable, and try to make it what they promised, what their CEO promised in the very beginning. So people have been there for the ride, and they very much love and support Hello Games and the developers for exactly that. So I'm very glad that No Man's Sky is on here. They just released a pretty big update, which I actually don't know what that update is about or what it does. I would love to check it out, though. Anyway, glad that it's on this. We also have Destiny 2. Now, this is a wild one for me. I'm also skipping Final Fantasy, because again, I don't know Final Fantasy at all. But Destiny 2, I know that basically everybody, not everybody, but fans of Destiny 2 really just want a better game. And I've seen a lot of people talking about how even the lower developers, maybe not the lower developers, but the development team that aren't the management and the top tier guys, had to leave. And I remember seeing that like a headline that said Bungie won't listen to the pleas and the begging of the development team, which is really sad. And I think that is why ultimately this game is on this list for community support, because the community really supports the development team, because they know that the development team wants a better game out of Destiny 2. But of course, it's about profits and all of that stuff. But yeah, that's really all I know about Destiny 2. Cyberpunk 2077, it's got a lot of love now, especially with the new expansion. Yeah, I think we've talked, we've brushed up on it a lot. But yeah, there's definitely a big audience for 2077. I wouldn't say that it's bigger than the other ones that we've already talked about. I think it's well deserved, not like overhyped or anything like that. It's not overwhelming, basically. Ultimately, though, I would put my vote, excuse me, I hiccuped, I would put my vote in Baldur's Gate 3, because innovation that they pushed with Baldur's Gate 3. There is nothing like this. There's no other RPG like Baldur's Gate 3 and what Larian Studios pushes out. And people really, really saw that and recognized it for that. And people were saying it's very much like, I wouldn't say like an underdog story, but they took a risk. They didn't listen to higher ups. A lot of this, I believe the funding from Baldur's Gate 3 was like a crowdfunding kind of thing. But yeah, I remember hearing and reading how people said, like, they really care about the audience. They really care about providing a premier experience to the consumer. I am definitely one of those people who praises Larian Studios for really doing something different against the grain, and taking a risk and making one of the best games of our fucking lifetime. Man, that's how I see it. Anyway, best independent game. Now this, I don't know any of these. Well, I know some of them, but I haven't played any of them. I know of Cocoon, kind of. I know of Dave the Diver. I almost got this game so I could play it on the channel, because I saw like very overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam, but I ultimately didn't get it because the sale from the Steam summer sale wasn't that much. I remember seeing a bit of Dredge, Sea of Stars. I actually have downloaded on my console, but I haven't really played it yet. Mainly because when I play it, I want to play it for the channel, but I also looked up how long it is, and it's like 20 hours. So I thought about making a one-off on the beginning of the game, but yeah, I have no idea. Also, I have no idea what Viewfinder is. If I had to guess, I may have seen a clip of it on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know what Viewfinder is, but I think it might be it's like a puzzle game where you can take like pictures and it's like a perspective. I don't know, I have no idea. But yeah, I don't know any of these. If I were to guess which one would win, it might be Dave the Diver or Sea of Stars. Those are the only two that I've seen make bigger headlines than the rest. Anyway, moving on. Another category that I cannot weigh in on at all. It is the best debut indie game for the best debut game created by a new independent studio. And that this is actually really cool to recognize. I definitely want to give Cocoon a shot. I think I have this downloaded to my console as well, to be honest. But yeah. For a category, I love it, but I can't weigh in on it, so we're moving on to another category that I can't weigh in on at all. We've got Final Fantasy, Hello Kitty Island, Honkai Star Rail. I had no idea that Monster Hunter had a mobile game, but it does. I didn't know Terra Nil was a mobile game either. But these are the top contenders for the best mobile game. Best VR. I haven't been on VR in a while. I have the original Quest, and now they're gonna be like releasing the Quest 3, so I don't know. But yeah, I know that you can use like your own computer power to play better VR games with like a Quest. But yeah, I haven't really got around to doing that, especially with the eye problems that I've been sustaining recently. Anyway, these are the top contenders for the VR games. It's kind of cool that Resident Evil Village has a VR mode and it's on here. But also Horizon and Gran Turismo. Anyway, moving on. So, best action game. The only ones that I've played on, well, not on the channel, but also on the channel, and also in general. The only ones I've played are Dead Island 2 and Hi-Fi Rush. Now, I believe I've seen gameplay of the first Ghost Runner, I think, like a while ago. I didn't know that there was a second one until like very, very recently. I've also heard very good things about Remnant 2 and Armored Core 6. If I were to cast my vote between Dead Island 2 and Hi-Fi Rush, I would probably give it to Hi-Fi Rush. Dead Island 2 was ultimately kind of a disappointment, unfortunately. But I could see any of these other three making it. Mainly, I think it would be Armored Core or Remnant. I think those are the top two for this category. We also have the Best Action and Adventure. For the Best Action Adventure game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving. Now, puzzle solving being part of this, I wouldn't really put... Okay, I haven't played any of these games except for Spider-Man 2. And Spider-Man 2 doesn't really do a whole lot of puzzle solving outside of the main quest. If that makes sense. It's not really innovative in puzzle solving at all. Unless you play the outside the main quest line. But I know that Tears of the Kingdom has a mechanic where you can build and stuff. I feel like when it comes to puzzle solving, they definitely got that in the bag, but I have no idea what really would win this. Spider-Man has crazy combat. I wouldn't say crazy, it's got pretty decent combat, but amazing traversal. It just lacks puzzle solving a little bit, a little bit of that element. But yeah, that's really all I can say about that category. Best RPG. It's kind of laughable that Starfield is on here, to be honest. If you want to know why, you can watch my final episode of Starfield out now, where I talk about my criticisms of the game. But obviously, I would give this to Baldur's Gate 3 for reference, for the best game design with rich player character customization and progression, including massively multiplayer experiences. Now, when I hear RPG, I think of, well, it stands for role-playing game, and because of that, I think of how well they do to immerse you in the mechanics and the world and the story of the game. And I think Baldur's Gate 3 hits all of those, even though you may not, make your own character. But even if you do make your own character, it's very, very, very in-depth. It's very much like making a D&D character, which D&D is known to be extremely, extremely I guess, rich in RPG elements. It's the RPG experience, basically. I think that's the best way to describe it. I like that Lies of P is on here, but yeah, I would still give it to Baldur's Gate 3. It is cool that Sea of Stars is also on here as well. Makes me want to play it even more. Anyway, best fighting. Now, I haven't played any of these. I never got Mortal Kombat 1, but I've seen people play it. I've seen plenty of clips of All-Star Brawl 2, and wow, All-Star Brawl 2, it looks fantastic. It looks very fun, and I've seen a lot of clips on Twitter. I can't help but think that if they don't, work on it even more over time, then it could suffer the same fate as Multiverses, which it was really, really, really sad to see how Multiverses turned out. But, yeah, hopefully it survives. I've seen a lot of Patrick backshots, and that shit's hilarious, but, I wouldn't really know what to put my vote in, because I just don't know these. I don't know Pocket Bravery, I don't know God of Rock. I know Omni-Man just got added to Mortal Kombat 1, which is really, really cool. They have Homelander coming. Also Peacemaker, which all of those are fucking amazing additions to the roster. I think they did a really, really good job selecting those. But yeah, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl came on the scene pretty recently, I'd say. So out of all of these, if I were to guess which one would win, I think it might be Mortal Kombat 1. Because at the end of the day, this is all just it's all a popularity contest, And Mortal Kombat kind of stomps all of the fighting games, popularity-wise. Anyway, best family for the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. So, this just really means family-friendly, not so much a co-op experience. And to be honest, well, first of all, I haven't played Disney Illusion Island, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, or Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I have played Party Animals, so personally, based on what I know, I would give it to Party Animals, but I know a lot of people love Pikmin 4. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter praising this game. Not a whole lot on Sonic Superstars. If anything, I saw someone making fun of it, I think, or recognizing it to be one of the only games that does something. I can't really remember. But again, Super Mario Bros. Is on here, and again, it's a Super Mario Bros. Game, so I would guess that it's a toss-up between Party Animals, Pikmin 4, and Super Mario. I think that Party Animals may have the edge here because I saw a lot of... I saw this game take the YouTube scene by storm a little bit. But anyway, best simulator and strategy game. Best game focused on real-time or turn-based simulation or strategy gameplay, irrespective of platform. So, again, I don't know how Pikmin 4 plays, and I don't know any of these. I mean, especially City Skylines 2. City Skylines 2 is the only thing that I've seen gameplay of, and that I'm, anticipating when it comes out on Game Pass. But, if I were to guess which one would win this, it would either be Pikmin 4 or City Skylines, because I don't know any of these other three. And I'm not saying that other people don't either. But, yeah. Yeah, I don't know them. Best sports and racing. I feel like I need to just blow past this immediately, because yeah, I don't play racing games. Okay, so this is an interesting one. Best multiplayer for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences, irrespective of game genre or platform. Now I'm going to be a little cruel here and say that Diablo 4 should not be on here. First of all. Second of all, while I do love Baldur's Gate 3, and I have been playing it co-op, ultimately I don't think it is the best multiplayer experience. I do love it for both a co-op and a solo experience, but I recommend people, every time I talk to people about this game, and when I'm convincing people to get the game, I tell them, like, I absolutely recommend you play this on your own, because it's all on your time, and you can take your own time to experience everything. Playing this co-op takes a really, really, really long time, especially if, you're trying to see the same exact cutscenes as each other, and, when you're in fights and stuff, you guys have to be all together, so it's cool that they have co-op elements, but I don't think it is supposed to be. It's not meant to be a co-op experience. It's cool that they have it though, and I fucking love Larian for doing that. But yeah, honestly, I would give it to Party Animals because of the the popularity it got immediately when it came on the scene, especially on YouTube, and I'm really just hoping that they update this game a lot in the future. I hope they are hard at work at making new levels. It's basically Gang Beasts, but like deep, if that makes sense. And that's kind of like great. It's kind of awesome to have like a Gang Beasts experience, but like a much more in-depth kind of thing. There's like weapons that you can use, and the environments are they're not just environments that you can just utilize and climb. It's like there's weather, or there's stuff that you really have to get away from, not just throw each other in it. The map changes, and it's really cool. And there's also like game modes within the game modes, if that makes sense. I think it's really awesome, and I think it deserves best multiplayer. But it would probably go to... Actually, I have no idea. I have no idea at all. Now, this is a really cool one. Best adaptation, recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. So, I actually haven't seen any of these, but I can pretty much weigh in on how successful each of these are, I honestly have never heard anything about Castlevania Nocturne, though it being here is very cool. It's a Netflix adaptation. I had no idea. Twisted Metal, I believe that's like a really, really old game where you drive, like, you can drive like an ice cream truck. I forgot what the name of the clown was, but fucking Anthony Mackie being the star. That's crazy. But honestly, I would assume that the winner of this category would be any of these three. I would include Gran Turismo at, in the top three because, it's been memed to hell and back over, its promotional material. They've poured so much fucking money into making sure that this trailer gets played at every single movie theater experience you go to, and that's hilarious. I have seen. I don't even go to the movies that much, like hardly, but I still understand the weight of the memes, and for it to be on here is fucking hilarious. And honestly, I would not be mad at all if it won. But that kind of leaves it to. I'd say that's like a wild card, right? But besides that, we have The Last of Us and the Super Mario Bros. Movie. Again, I haven't watched either of these. I think I watched like one episode of The Last of Us. And when it was released, I remember people loved it. People were like, this is the best adaptation. This is so good. Mainly because of Pedro Pascal, I'm pretty sure. But after a few months went by, people started to rag on it, which is actually really funny. But yeah, because of that, I think, I don't know, some people really still do like The Last of Us. But yeah, I think the general opinion and view of The Last of Us kind of dwindled a bit over time, which, sucks and all. But yeah, which leaves the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I don't know how to judge the success of this. I know it did very, very well. I know a lot of people went to see it, and I know a lot of people said it was great. I did hear some people say it was just fan service and just packed with references that made people go, oh shit, and like point at the screen. So I again, I have no idea how to judge any of these. I can't, because I haven't seen them. But if I were to guess, it would probably be either one of these two, because of how popular they are. The Super Mario Bros. Movie had a theatrical release, whereas The Last of Us had a streaming release. So that could also weigh in on the discussion. But I think Gran Turismo could, based on the memes, could pull it out. Anyway, what? You've reached the edge. No, I haven't. Hold on, let me refresh. What are you talking about? Hang on. What is happening? Let's go back to categories. What were we on? Best adaptation. What? What, dude? What are you talking about? Hang on. What if I go to a previous one? What? I'm so confused. Hold on. Let's see. Might have to do some, might have to split this up later. What about content creator? Oh, okay. Let's see if I can go to previous. Oh, okay. Weird. So we are on the most anticipated game category, recognizing an announced game that is demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. Now, I of these games, and you probably know what it is, and that is Hades 2. I don't really know. I actually never saw any of these other trailers or announcements, but I've only seen Hades 2, and even if I did see any of these other ones, I'm not really fans of the franchises, except for Hades. And I am so excited. Sorry, like I feel a hiccup coming, but it's like not here yet. Anyway, Hades 2, for me, is my most anticipated game. I am so fucking excited for that. And every now and again, I still play Hades 1, and there's so much to it. Even after you like finally hit the credits of the game, of the first game, you can still get so many new voice lines, and it encourages so much replayability. It's nuts. But anyway, that's how I personally feel. Anyway, content creator of the year. Guess what? I don't know any of these fucking people. I think I've seen clips of Iron Mouse. I don't watch VTubers at all, but I've still seen clips of, I think this is who it was. But yeah, I don't know any of these people. I might have heard of Quackity before. You know, that might be very quote-unquote unprofessional of me being a gaming YouTuber, but I'm very much thinking too highly of myself. Anyway, best esports game. I cannot weigh in on this at all. But these are pretty much the same games that we've been, you know, looking at for the past, like, decade. So, yeah, no, there's nothing that really changed except for Counter-Strike 2. I can't even... Is Counter-Strike 2 out now? I have no idea. I never even played Counter-Strike 1, so... Yeah. If I were to guess which one would win, it would probably either be Counter-Strike 2 or Valorant. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's, wait, PUBG Mobile? 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 That's wild. That there's a esports for PUBG Mobile. Anyway, esports I do not follow at all, so we are skipping that esports team. I do not follow at all. The only one that I've ever heard of is, I think, Vitality. And that's it. Moving on. Esports coach, I don't know. Esports event, I don't know. And that is it. That is it for the 2023 nominees for the Game Awards. And yeah, that was an hour long. I can't believe I talked about all of that stuff for an hour. That's crazy. But yeah, those were all of my opinions. Of course, I'll preface again. But yeah, we've got 24 days until the show. I heard some kind of whistling. What? I have no idea what that sound is. Okay, I think it's gone. Anyway, we've only got... Oh, I think it's a siren outside. I think there's a, Yeah, I think I hear a fire truck ambulance thing. Well, anyway, I'm gonna quit stalling. I'm gonna quit letting it stall me. assume that a lot of people are going to be giving more and more takes as we get closer to the Game Awards. I think after we are done with, after I'm done with this video, I think I will make an account so that I can vote, because I very much am a gamer, and I very much care about the landscape of gaming, and yeah, I think this channel has helped me recognize games and appreciate games even more. I've always loved video games, and I've always been crazy into them, and I've always had support for all of these creators and the medium itself. But yeah, this channel absolutely helped me maintain that. So, for people who are watching, thank you. Because I am a better gamer because of you guys, if that makes sense. Anyway, I very, very, very much want to see what you guys think of each of these. If you disagree with me on any of these, any of my takes, absolutely tell me, weigh in on the discussion, and yeah, I think this was a great video. Being able to recognize all of the greatest creations of this year in gaming. Anyway, I'm gonna end it there. I hope you enjoyed that and or found this video relaxing. Again, let me know what you think on any of the things I said, or if I missed out on anything. I know that I did. You know that I did. And yeah, have a good night.